Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Ian.is.weird. That's sideways. It's gonna bother me. So I am on early for 100 nights of Halloween. I plan on being here for several hours till I normally go on for 100 nights at like 9 p.m. It's like 6:20 p.m. right now. So I plan on being on here a while. I like just like working online. It keeps me motivated. It keeps my attention. Which if you are one of us, one of us that suffers with ADHD or just attention in general, because you don't have to have ADHD to have problems with staying focused, completing tasks, things like that. um, then you know that when you can, whatever you can do to keep your attention is important. So, so I guess part of the reason I went on early is because I wanted to ask some feedback on well, I guess I kind of wanted to express some feelings that I had, and it's bringing me a lot of anxiety, and I feel like just like an anxious ball of like wreckage right now. Which might seem, I mean, for me, I know it's not abnormal for me to seem anxious or anything like that, or me to be anxious. It's just part of my life. But for this particular instance, it's definitely something that I really want to talk about, because it's something that might seem silly to some people. So I received, if you didn't catch last night's live when we watched Jennifer's Body, I received an order on Etsy for a packer, and the packer said, "Please hide this." And there's ways that you can interpret that. The way I interpreted it as was, the way that I've interpreted other similar messages was that this is something that I don't want anyone to know that I received, like a packer, a gender affirming device. I don't want anyone who might touch it or like grab it from the mail. I don't want them to know that I received this package, whether it be their household or anything like that. But this wording was a little bit less specific about, like, because usually it's like, please don't have anything on the outside of the package that would indicate what's on the inside. This one said, please hide it. So I'm like, do I send it in a box that can't be squished so no one will know what's inside of it? Do you need me to have other things in the package so that, like, if people grabbed it, there's like other things so that they couldn't even find something in it? Like, do you want me to have less detail on the packer, so that if someone saw the packer, they wouldn't know what it was? What kind of do you need from me? So I I try to reply to Etsy messages as quickly as possible. And so within 5 minutes of this getting ordered, I messaged the buyer back instantly, or I messaged the buyer back and was like, "Hey, like, what does hiding it mean to you? What does that mean to you?" And so I'm mostly done. There's maybe like less than an hour of work, with all the details that I could put on it, on the packet, like on the packer itself. And I, uh, um, uh, I, uh, haven't received any message back, which I I will take the L and not send this for someone's safety, if that's what this is about. And I don't know any better, so I have to, like, I've got to start making some assumptions of why someone would not want this. And so every time I see the packer, and I'm like, I could just finish it. And it would be a finished object, and then I could move on. Every time I see it, I'm like, I don't know what they need from me, So I've got a lot of anxiety surrounding that project over there. So I'm going to work on something different and try to keep my mind like in the right space. But like every time I've thought about picking up another project today, I've just been like, what do I do with this like unfinished thing that I need to send out that I like I don't know the details of what they mean by hide it. Like what do you mean by hide it? I can assume, but I want to make sure that I know because I want anybody to receiving it to be safe. Like it might not even be a safety thing. I don't know. But because of interactions I've had and then other interactions that I've seen people have, I just kind of don't want any issues with this. So it's just bringing me a lot of anxiety and nervousness to kind of have that um, be a part of the the conversation around being able to provide these things for people, because these are meant to be items that make people feel good, make people feel safe, make people feel comfortable in their own skin. And the absolute last thing that I would want is for someone to not feel comfortable, safe, and for them to have to worry about what is being sent to them. So, so I'm sure I'm overthinking it, and I don't know if there's any advice that someone could give me because, like, again, I think that there's ways that this could be potentially read in a different situation or a different light. But for me, I kind of can't help but think that that's kind of why someone would send a message like that. Again, historically, that's been kind of like, hey, I need to make sure that nobody knows that this is what I'm receiving. So I'm just trying to go with what I know. But as a result, I can't just, like, I could have had this in the mail today, but as a result of not receiving a message back, I I don't feel comfortable sending it. Um, and that is a little bit hard because I just want to get what somebody ultimately wanted to them, but if they don't respond to my messages, um, I can't send it to them with in good conscience, knowing the details of what hide this for me looks like. You know what I mean? Am I a little like, I know I'm an anxious person, I know I'm an overthinker, but if you were in the same position, would you also do the same thing? Would you do something different? You sharing what you might do might not change what I ultimately do, but I would be interested to hear what some other people would do in this situation. So feel free to share if you would like. If you don't want to share, that's absolutely fine. But it's just something that like I feel like I need something drastic, like being on camera to not stare at it for hours on end, which is what I've been doing because I'm like, I could finish this so easy. It's almost done. I think in the end, in the final moments of a project being done, it's those times when we're like, oh, we could just finish it right now. Like, boom, there it is, done. But I would not feel comfortable finishing it. And I mean, I guess like finishing it doesn't hurt anyone, right? Like if it's finished and it's here, like that doesn't hurt anyone. But then I start thinking like, when can I send this and stuff like that. So it just kind of all like starts to back up into this anxiety of like, how could I send this to in a way that this person would be safe for me to send it? Um, and um, and so I start to really think about things like that. and I have to. I feel like I have to. I don't know if I actually do have to, um, but yeah. So I don't know. It's something that's very nerve wracking for me, and I'm trying to kind of like calm down from like kind of like close to it. It's not fully a panic attack, and it's not like like I know it's just anxiety, but it's anxiety that I feel like I don't feel like I will have like fully quelled until I get an answer back from this person. So I'm like every time my phone rings or something, I'm like, is this person like, no, 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 okay, no, okay, please, come on, message me back. No, okay, great. Um, so I'm just like a little bit nervous. So I'm working on my pride top, and I have been working on it for like a millennia now. Just feels like it's never gonna be done, but I know that if I keep working on it, it has to be done eventually. Like logically, it has to be done eventually. But if I could just keep my mind off of what's making me anxious, that will be helpful. Hi, welcome in. So, working on my pride top. I'm calling it my pride top because it's the top that I intended to wear at Pride. That I ended up not going, and then when I went to my Pride like 2 weeks ago, that they had in September, I ended up doing something completely different. So I just didn't get a chance to get this done in time the first time around, and then I wanted to do something a little different the second time around. So uh, this will be hopefully very comfortable and breathable by the time that it is time to wear it again. And I'm super excited to be able to wear it after all the work I've put into it. If you want the pattern, I can send it to you. I can send you the link to the pattern on Etsy. It's from a buyer called MFTI, and the pattern is called Headspace. So the front of the shirt looks like this. Now, the color work, the idea of doing the color work was all mine. In the original pattern, they just did, and it's gonna be like big and slouchy, but the idea of doing the color work was all mine. They just used the color that they did the base with. So if you wanted to do the color work, you're on your own because I barely got by doing it on what I know. I don't feel qualified to help anyone else out trying to mimic it because honestly, I don't think I did a great job, and there's still a lot I have to learn about switching colors, especially in like a filet crochet type of style. And um, it was definitely a huge learning experience for me, especially once you get down to the teeth of the skull. It's just totally, totally different. So. But tonight, around the normal time that we watch our 100 Nights movie, I'm going to be watching Lisa Frankenstein, which is why it's in the title. And I figure if we're going to go Diablo Cody for Jennifer's Body, why not just double up and do Lisa Frankenstein? Because I didn't even think about that for like a Frankenstein movie. Or like well, I guess we didn't do any Frankenstein movies, but I didn't even think about something like that. And so I thought this would be a fun addition. If you haven't seen the movie, I think it's a fun one. It's currently up on Amazon. If you have an Amazon Prime account and you have Amazon Video, you can watch it under your subscription. It's a fun movie. It's quirky. It's just, again, like I said last night when I was doing my kind of wrap up of Lisa Frankenstein. It's very in the vein of Diablo Cody movies where it's just kind of like these kind of like badass to like bad like women who just kind of skirt a line of like if a guy could do that, and you know what it would look like, what would it look like for this like female protagonist, antagonist, whatever, to do that as well. And so it's very of that vein. And I think that I've only watched it once. I had a lot of fun watching it, so I'm looking forward to watching it again. I'm going to get a quick bubbly water for myself. Also, I'm going to show off my whatchamacallit, my cardigan that I finished so that you can check it out if you haven't seen it yet. Okay, so the cardigan. So I am thinking that I might sell something similar to this. I did learn quite a few lessons on when I was making this, so I would not be able to sell this exact color. Not that I would share this yarn with anybody, but this color isn't available year round, so it's not something that I could. And then also, if there was a different sizing or anything like that, I just wouldn't have enough yarn necessarily to get through it. So I just wanted to make one for myself because I love the color so much. But this is what it looks like. The sleeves, I went way too big, so I kind of got this like teacher flap thing going on, but whatever, it's okay. Learning experience. And then the sleeves are color blocked. I block right here, and then I have these whatchamacallit, ribbed uh, wrist right here. So I'm super happy with how it turned out, and especially with the color blocking and the sleeves and collar, I feel like I was able to tone down how bright the color was, which I'm glad I get like the pops of the bright color, but it's not just like, oh my eyes, which is definitely how it would have been if I had done the whole thing the same color. So I would like to find a way. I would like to find a variegated yarn or something that I could do like this. I could do this pattern with all year round, and have the yarn available and make sure that it wasn't like discontinued or not available for order or back ordered all the time or something like that. So there's a couple big twist yarns where they do some color variation where I'm like, okay, I could do that. There are they're the Pride variegated yarns. I think they have other variegated yarns as well in the big twist variegations, the big twist living that are anti-pilling, which anti-pilling is always a great way to go, especially for a cardigan. Then you don't have to worry about pilling. Um, I could use puzzle yarn, and that would be nice. So there's a lot of options. So I'd be interested to see what everyone thought would be a good option to substitute the orange for. And then I could figure out if I wanted to do color blocking on them or not. Um, I don't know. Like, I don't think I would do color blocking on the other ones because really, I don't think that the color blocking was as successful as I thought it would be. I think part of the reason was that I used a really large hook size. And so, because I used a really large hook size, it was like, well, there weren't really like, if I wanted like a color block that was about this big, it was like, well, with the hook size, it was like either going to be this big or it's going to be this big. And there wasn't really much in between. And so, I don't think I would do it. I still like for me, this was a 4-weight yarn. When I followed the pattern from Bag a Day, Bag a Day used a 5-weight yarn. So the puzzle yarn is a 5-weight. It is very easily accessible for me. Not all the colors are always available, which is a little bit annoying. So the thing is, like, I mean, I could order it through Walmart and it would get here pretty fast, rather than having to order it through Premier. So I guess that's not too bad. But then I could do the 5-weight and do it in the way that Bag a Day did it, have similar measurements. But I liked being able to stretch the yarn, not have to do as much, and using a big hook so I could just kind of blow through it as fast as possible. I think it took me like, I mean, and granted, I did have to do and redo a lot of parts like many times. Whereas if I had kind of taken more consideration into like measurements similar to what Bag a Day had done, I don't think I would have had to do those types of measurements. So I think that but I did have to think quite a bit about like making things even, the armholes, the sleeves, color blocking, all of that was very like, I'd be kind of like very specific about how I thought about doing that. So, anywho, let's get to crocheting. We'll just chit chat. Hey Nifty, welcome in. Yeah, I'm working on my pride top and kind of had like a little bit of like an anxiety dilemma earlier, um, based around a message I received from a someone who bought a packer from my Etsy. And so I didn't really know how to navigate that. Still quite don't, but that's okay. How are you doing? Are you still working on your baby booties? I started the stream early for 100 Nights of Halloween, just because I wanted to talk about what was bothering me and also stay focused on crocheting and not have to keep looking over at the project that's making me anxious. So this is helping me stay a little bit more focused. I have company tonight, so I hope to catch you later. Gonna miss chatting with you. Yeah, well, live in the moment and have fun with hanging out with whoever you are having company with. Um, honestly, like I'm really low energy, so I might actually need to save my energy for tonight. So I might do a part two where I actually watch the movie around the normal time that I do because I don't know if I'm gonna have the energy to do like 6 hours of streaming. Like that's a ton based on the fact that I'm running on empty tonight. Um, or but running on empty today. I overslept, missed an appointment, and I'm just like, oh, this is annoying. But I could not stay awake. I was just so tired, and I was like, I'll just take a little nap. Little naps never work out for me. I'm not a nap person. I either sleep for like a minimum of 4 hours or I don't sleep at all. It's that's how I've always been. I don't do these like short little like 15 like nod offs. Um, so so yeah, but I've been so tired and um, I I missed my appointment, which sucks. I hate missing appointments because I don't like people thinking that I don't respect their time, and then I miss appointments pretty frequently because I do have a lot of sleep issues. So um, getting trying to get my sleep under control is like a never ending pursuit for me, and I just don't really ever know what to do about it because it's just such a hard thing for me to control and work with. Um, Mhm. Also, like, so I know I'm like a month and a half early, and then definitely way too early for Christmas. But I'm hoping to ask my parents for a better laptop and hoping that we can combine those gifts, even though that's a pretty extreme. I mean, not extreme, but it's a high cost. It's a high cost gift, right? But like something that's much higher cost than what I have typically asked for or gotten. But I just really, whenever I like, like, I'm trying to find something like, or have to rewatch a video just to make sure something didn't slip in that I didn't mean to or whatever. Or just see how it looked, how my camera looks, or how my volume sounds. Um, I I hate the way my volume sound or my audio sounds. It sounds terrible because my fan is always trying to keep up. And then in times where like I have a computer stand, it's like a cheap computer stand, but has a little fan in it, and it's very quiet. But because it's so close to the computer audio, it sounds very high, and so it makes my audio even worse. So I turn it off before I go live, and then I have my laptop like on the verge of overheating the whole time. And so it's just so loud. It sounds like a jet plane, like a jet engine trying to like turn over like right next to it the whole time. And I just would like a better camera for that, or better computer for that, and then it would be nice to be able to play games on my computer, and my computer just cannot handle that. It can barely handle streaming, so I really can't do much on this computer. You know, it's very old and has been replaced multiple, or has had, you know, some TLC in like the parts department of like helping to make it run a little bit more efficiently. And I think it would just be nice to have something a little bit newer that could handle the capacity that I want to be handled. Um, so yeah, so I'm gonna let you all go. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll see you in a couple hours, and we'll talk then.